My son and Dill were suddenly at my door with a moving truck. I calmly picked up my phone and the doorbell rang like a gunshot in the quiet of my afternoon tea. I was in the middle of stirring honey into my chamomile, the steam curling up like lazy ghosts from the cup. At 72, surprises weren't my favorite flavor, but life has a way of serving them unannounced. I set the spoon down, wiped my hands on the floral apron I'd worn since my own wedding day, and shuffled to the door. There they stood. My son, Amir, with his broad shoulders hunched under the weight of what looked like exhaustion, and his wife, Sana, clutching a clipboard like it was a lifeline. Behind them, a massive moving truck idled on the curb, its engine rumbling like a distant thunder. Boxes peeked from the open back, labeled in Sana's neat handwriting, kitchen, books, baby stuff. "Amma," Amir exclaimed, his voice a mix of apology and excitement. He stepped forward to hug me, but I held up a hand, my heart doing somersaults. "What is this?" I asked, my voice steadier than I felt. The neighborhood kids were already peeking from behind curtains. Mrs. Khan next door would have the gossip mill churning by evening. Sana smiled sheepishly, her hijab slightly askew from the wind. "Surprise. We got evicted from our apartment. The landlord sold the building. We thought, maybe we could stay with you. Just temporarily." Temporarily. That word hung in the air like the scent of rain on dry earth. My little house, with its creaky wooden floors and walls lined with faded photos of better days, suddenly felt both too small and infinitely expansive. Amir and I hadn't lived under the same roof since he was 18, off to university with dreams bigger than our modest Lahore suburb. I calmly picked up my phone and dialed my sister, Rubina. She answered on the second ring, her voice bright as always. "Baji, everything all right? Ruby, come over. Bring samosas. And your spare bedding. The kids are moving in." There was a pause, then a delighted squeal. "Finally, I'll be there in 10. Hanging up, I turned back to them. Amir's eyes were wide, Sana's lips parted in surprise. "Amma, we didn't mean to impose." "Nonsense," I said, waving them in. "This is your home too. Always has been." My voice cracked just a little, but I masked it with a smile. Inside, a whirlwind stirred, joy at having them close, fear of the chaos, memories flooding back like monsoon waters. As they unloaded the truck, I watched from the porch, phone in hand again. This time, I texted my old friend group on WhatsApp, "Family reunion. Potluck dinner tonight. Bring your best biryani." The replies flooded in, emojis of hearts and dancing ladies. At my age, friends were gold, and this was the perfect excuse to gather them. The house transformed in hours. Amir hauled in the crib for little Zain, their 1-year-old who was napping in the car seat. Sana arranged her spices in my kitchen cabinets, apologizing for displacing my ancient masala daba. "Amma, your ginger garlic paste smells divine. Secret recipe. Love and time, beta," I replied, showing her how to grind fresh coriander. The aroma filled the air, mingling with the dust from boxes. I picked up my phone once more and snapped a photo of the chaos, boxes towering like skyscrapers in the living room, and sent it to my daughter in Canada. "Your brother beat you to it. Come visit soon." By evening, the sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, like the dupattas I used to wear in my youth. Rubina arrived first, arms laden with crispy samosas and gossip. "Baji, you look 20 years younger already." She hugged Amir and Sana, cooing over Zain who had woken up, his chubby fists waving. More friends trickled in. Uncle Farouk with his legendary Halim, Auntie Nasim with sheer kurma that could make angels weep. The living room, once my solitary sanctuary with its embroidered cushions and Quran on the side table, buzzed with laughter. Children, grandkids of friends, chased each other around the furniture, while the adults formed circles on the floor, plates balanced on knees. I sat in my favorite armchair, phone on the armrest, occasionally checking messages. Amir plopped down beside me during a lull. "Amma, I'm sorry for springing this. Work's been tough, and with the baby." I placed a hand on his. "Beta, remember when you were little and Abba lost his job? We squeezed into your uncle's house for months. Family is the net that catches us." He nodded, eyes misty. Sana joined us, Zain on her lap, gnawing on a teething ring. As night fell, the call to prayer echoed from the nearby mosque, a soothing melody. We paused for Maghrib, spreading prayer mats in the garden under the stars. The moving truck's shadow loomed, but it felt less ominous now, like a bridge rather than a burden. Later, with bellies full and stories shared, I picked up my phone one last time. I opened the voice recorder and spoke softly. Day 1 of the new chapter. My home is full again. Alhamdulillah. The next morning dawned with the chirp of sparrows and the cry of Zain. I woke to the smell of paratha's sizzling, Sana at the stove, Amir setting the table. My routine, once solitary walks in the park and afternoon naps, shifted seamlessly. I became the storyteller at breakfast, regaling Zain with tales of his father's mischief, the time Amir climbed the mango tree and got stuck, or how he once tried to fix the TV with a screwdriver. Phone in pocket, I ventured out to the market with Sana. We need more atta, she said. As we haggled over fresh vegetables, I showed her my secret spot for the juiciest tomatoes. Your mother-in-law knows best, I teased. She laughed, linking arms with me. Afternoons brought challenges. Space was tight. Amir's home office squeezed into the guest room, Sana's yoga mat unrolled in the hallway. Arguments flickered, like when Zain's toys invaded my prayer corner, but I picked up my phone and called Rubina for mediation. Baji, remember, patience is the spice of life. Evenings were golden. We'd gather on the roof, watching the city lights flicker on. Amir shared dreams of starting his own business. Sana spoke of her online baking classes. I listened, offering wisdom wrapped in humor. In my day, we didn't have Zoom. We had chai and chit-chat. 1 week in, a storm hit, literal and figurative. Rain lashed the windows as Zain fell ill with a fever. Panic rose. The clinic was flooded. I calmly picked up my phone and called Drive. Ahmed, an old family friend. Come quick, Beta's burning up. He arrived in his raincoat, prescribing medicines and reassurance. As Zain recovered, snuggled in my lap with a cool cloth on his forehead, I realized this intrusion was a blessing. My house echoed with life. Giggles, arguments, the clatter of pots. Loneliness, my silent companion for years since Abba's passing, had vanished. Months blurred. The moving truck long gone, their things integrated into mine. Amir's business idea took shape, a small tech startup from home. Sana's cakes sold out at local fairs. Zain took his first steps in my living room, toddling toward me with arms outstretched. I still picked up my phone daily, to order groceries, share photos with far-flung relatives, or record voice notes of gratitude. Allah's plans are always beautiful, I'd say. One evening, as we sat for iftar during Ramadan, the table groaning under dates, fruits, and rue afza, Amir raised his glass. To Amma, for opening her door in her heart. Tears welled, but I smiled. To family, the real treasure.